"500 Days of Summer," a 2009 romantic comedy directed by Marc Webb, follows greeting card writer Tom Hansen, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as he struggles with a heartbreak induced by his girlfriend Summer Finn, who's played by Zooey Deschanel, after she abruptly breaks up with him.
I hate summer.
Tom, who is seen as a hopeless romantic, finds himself unable to cope with the loss of what he expected to be an easy relationship. As Tom tries to find where he and Summer went wrong, he contemplates the 500-day timeline of their relationship and comes to realize what he really wants from life. One of the most iconic scenes from the film, which depicts Tom's expectations of his relationship with Summer versus his reality, is portrayed through the use of split-screen editing. This scene is highly suggestive of the idea that Tom's persistent arrogance and delusions regarding Summer are what ultimately lead to the end of their relationship. Before we break down this scene, it's important to note that in the beginning of the movie, Summer explicitly tells Tom that she is not looking for anything serious. In complete honesty, the first time I watched 500 Days of Summer, I felt bad for Tom. However, after giving it a second watch, I realized that he blatantly ignored what Summer was trying to tell him. It is easy to get wrapped up in the emotion Tom is so clearly feeling with Summer, which also makes it easy to do the same thing he does and look past the disclaimer she gives him. He was ignorant and arrogant in creating an idea of Summer in his mind that truly never existed. One really significant aspect of the editing used during this particular scene is the off-balanced rhythm between Tom's expectations and his reality. His expectation moves just fast enough to create a real sense of a slowly impending heartbreak over on the reality side. This lag between expectation and reality also helps to emphasize the idea that throughout the course of their relationship, Tom and Summer were never able to properly balance each other out. The scene starts with side-by-side shots of Tom walking into Summer's apartment building and ascending the stairs. As you watch Tom get closer to Summer's apartment, his evident excitement sort of projects onto you, but in the form of anxiety, as you are aware that his reality is bound to be entirely different from what he is expecting. The slow pace at which Tom takes the stairs in his expectation is representative of the fact that he took too long to fully realize where he went wrong with Summer. If Tom had been quicker in fully listening to what Summer was telling him, perhaps his expectation could have become his reality. The fine line that is placed in the center of the screen to split up Tom's expectation and his reality highlights the idea that Summer is, and always has been, just out of Tom's reach. The only thing separating Tom's idyllic, delusional idea of him and Summer from the actuality of their turbulent relationship is a thin black bar. In one specific shot, you see Tom and Summer leaning against a wall in Tom's dreamlike expectations. In reality, Tom stares ahead at Summer as she shows off her new fiancé and her engagement ring. Tom happens to be staring straight ahead at Summer, which also happens to be right towards the picture of him and Summer that he has made up in his mind through expectation. He is looking at what he believes should have been his future for the very last time as he realizes that he has officially lost Summer for good. At this moment, it is almost as if you can physically feel the heartbreak Tom is feeling just by the look in his eyes. This is a perfect example of a shot where you would feel bad for Tom, regardless of the way he has acted. Tom Hansen's hopeless romanticism quickly turns into an aggressive mentality that leads to him believing in an idea of him and Summer that never actually existed.
She's an evil, emotionless, miserable human being.
The split-screen expectations versus reality scene is full of symbolism and underlying messages that suggest Tom was at fault for the sour ending of his and Summer's relationship. In the end, it is Tom's unrealistic expectations that force him into a reality he would never have wanted for himself.